Hello YouTube, Nalina here, and in today's video I'm going to be trying the Thin House Challenge. I do want to just say that I did not go ahead and do the extra part of that challenge, which was to make it also a tiny house, so you couldn't go above 100 tiles. So I had only 99 tiles. And then somewhere along the way, one of the houses next door ended up with like a floor. I think I was putting a wall back and it made a whole other room. And even though it like jumped me up to 200 tiles. And even though I removed that tile and I went back to the way everything else was, which was just 98 tiles, something somewhere was counting an extra 8 tiles, and I did a lot of rearranging of these walls, these initial walls, and I just could not figure out where these extra 8 tiles were. I shrunk down 2 rooms and it said, or I shrunk down, yeah, I shrunk down 2 rooms, or I moved them back into position, and it just kept saying like had an extra 2 tiles and I couldn't figure it out. So at that point I ended up just giving up on that part of the challenge. Up here I did like try to do a little balcony thing. It added some floor, so I got rid of it. I don't know if the extra tiles were like a remaining floor bit there. It could have been that. I thought about it like once I had changed my mind about staying limited to the floor tiles. This is still a thin house. Like you see here, I have this, but I got rid of the floors. So I don't know where those extra tiles came from because I was very careful wherever I could see anyway. I deleted the extra floor. Except for like up here, I don't know if there was an extra floor that kind of remains on the floor. Um, on that like balcony, I don't know if you have like a ceiling and then a floor on top of the ceiling, if it still counts if you like removed the quote unquote room that was created. But yeah, I could not figure out where the heck those extra 2 tiles were, and I had already spent about an hour just trying to figure out how I wanted the walls to fit on the outside, where I needed to place the stairs. This was my second time actually putting this house together. I already had it in my mind that I wanted it to be like a magical house, or rather, I wanted it to be a house of someone who's like a spellcaster. The only thing is that I could not, like, I mean, for gameplay, you could just sneak it in there and just put it next door. Let's be honest. But, I definitely wanted it to be for that kind of sim. So it's like, I try to make it as unusual as possible. I gave it like these special doors and things. The first time it was just like a regular house, and so I just went ahead and destroyed it, and then I decided to rebuild it. In total, this build took me over 6 hours, about 6.5 hours. That's with like me getting up and like getting something to eat, which I basically just had popcorners and ice cream today. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. My mother's husband is actually like doing something to the wall. He's doing interior decorating over there, and I guess he's just using the nail gun or something. It's just rather loud. This is why I try to get this done before they come back from work. I'm actually going to be going back to work at the end of the month. Pretty excited about that, as I was trying or about to start looking for other jobs. But yeah, I think that I needed to stay home and just have as little of us as possible be exposed to like other people. So I was staying home, and my mom, she's an essential worker, so she still has to go to work. And her husband, they have to pay bills, of course, so he was out doing his thing too, and they just allowed me to kind of hang back and stay home. Because also I have a puppy, and so, it would have been really bad if she got exposed somehow, because I'm pretty sure at the beginning they said it was affecting dogs. I'm not sure about now, but they've kind of taken back a lot of the things that they said. And when media does that, I don't really trust them. I feel like they're trying to correct the chaos they created, and then they just start lying to you. So, but anyway, we're talking about The Sims here. So, there was, as you can see, I came back to the outside. I'm just putting in these little details. I wanted the walls to be uneven just to create a specific kind of space for the staircase on the inside. So that's why some of the walls are more forward or backward. And then just creating these very different spaces. I was going to use the white roof because there was, in the initial build that I had done, there was a piece, like a wall piece that you find, and it had like this white, I don't know if it was for windows or doors. It's just part of a decor item that you put on the outside, and it had a white roof, and I was like, okay, great, I'll do that here, but it didn't work. So here we are on the inside. Again, I had to skip a lot of things because this, even when I begun to edit it and I just forward it, like sped up the video, it was still an hour long. So I got 6 hours into 1 hour, and then I managed to cut that down to 20 minutes, not including screenshots. So you're gonna see here that something that I do on the inside is this, where I push a lot of the things that I want to include in the build through the wall and to the other side of the building. And this is a trick that I did a couple of times. I did it here, I did it on the 3rd floor, and I did it on the 4th floor with the dresser, which I know is like, that's kind of cheating a little bit, but hey, some people do that with the beds, so I'm gonna do it with other items that I really wanted to use, which I really wanted to use this here. I wanted to use a fireplace, but so yeah, I just decided to just push it through. I have not player tested it yet. I do move it forward a little bit. There we go. Just to kind of give it an opportunity to work. And then we kind of just squeeze in like the reading section. So the person who lives here is definitely a spellcaster, and they like to read. They do potions, they read a lot. Something that's not included in here is like a TV. I am gonna add a radio. I just realized that I could have added the old school, like what is it called? It's like a huge disc. I forgot what they're called. It's like a record player. That's what it's called. Yes. So I'm gonna actually add that upstairs. I had done this weird thing with like these tables that I kind of mounted one on top of the other, just to kind of make like a fake little bookshelf space. And so I think I'm gonna stuff the record player there. Another thing that I did in this build was I've been watching a lot of builds by other creators on YouTube who like build, and they do all these really cool tricks where they like make an illusion of a fireplace or like some other things. They create their own just items and that they want to see in the game but that are not there. So I just kind of took inspiration from that. There's nothing specific that I copied. Well, that's not true. I did copy like having a microwave that I put inside of one of the longer storage cabinets, and then I also put an extra oven just in case for like baking purposes. And then I was really working on my clutter here, even though I told myself not to do this anymore. And then I was trying to place those cards on the table, I mean on the couch. I just kind of wanted to make them look like they do like readings or something, even though spellcaster is not like a witch, like they're different. But I was just like, oh, that seems kind of cute, like maybe she fiddles around in certain things. You're gonna see upstairs there's gonna be like a small little tribute to one of the statues that I use. I like had this idea where I was like, I need more items because I didn't want to use the same thing. So I decided, wow, why don't I ever shrink down like the statues outside? So it's a little tricky to do that just because when you raise them up, if you're going to put them on top of something, they don't always go up like the perfect amount. They either go up too much or too little. So it's a little challenging, but I would definitely encourage you to play with that and then just see how that looks. So here we are in the kitchen, and I was just like, how do you do this thing? Like I was just watching some videos on how to do some cool tricks in the game. So here we are shrinking down the cabinets, or yeah, the counter, and putting the microwave into that little section there. And then I wanted this to really be the place where this character like messes around with like herbs and like makes their potions. Unfortunately, I did not add in the cauldron because that thing is huge. Like, why is it so big? And I did want to shrink it down, but also I wasn't sure if the animation was gonna get weird. Now that I think about it, I should have just done it in like whatever, see if they could, and then play test it and see if they could just keep it on the table in the kitchen. Like that would have been really cool. I'm so mad at myself for thinking about it now. But another thing is that I was using the spooky stuff pack, so I actually ended up using a smaller one, but I don't think you can really use that one. So that one I ended up taking out because I came across it on the third floor, and then I use it for something else. So we're gonna see what it looks like because I haven't gone in to take the screenshots yet. Usually I have everything ready before I get to this part of the edit, but not today. So this little wall piece here, I just kind of wanted to use it as an added section for flowers, like where she's growing some more flowers for her potions. We do take out some potions in a little while and kind of just place them around. Gotta say, when I was doing this, I had fanfiction.net open. I have the app, and I just like, did you know the app could read to you? I mean, she sounds like a robot, but that's okay. Like, you can make the app read really quickly, or you can make them read, slowly or really slowly. And I got through 33 chapters in like an hour because she was reading. Granted, those chapters were really, really short, but that's not the point. Like, they were decent. But yeah, I was like, I'm so excited, and now all I want to do is just like listen to um, some fan fiction stories. Hopefully, some completed ones. Like, that's just what I want to do. So here I go. I start shrinking down the statues, and then I was like, maybe thinking, like maybe this is kind of like a healer type caster, and maybe since it was a woman, the number one thing that came to me was like fertility and stuff. So like maybe she will make you a potion to prevent pregnancies, um, and or to actually, induce fertility and make you fertile. That's just kind of the story that I was going for. So I kind of added all these like female statues everywhere. And then here we are on the third floor where I put together this little, it's a shrine. Okay, I didn't really want to call it a shrine, but I mean, at the end of the day, she has this kind of a place where she has for this person that she reveres and respects, and then she's got the little candles there. But then I was like, I didn't know if it was a good idea for me to put that there because I do find there to be different between like witches and then spellcasters, and I was very adamant that this is a spellcaster who lives here. Like, it's not a witch. She doesn't do those kinds of spells. It's just very different from the way I was viewing it. So here I was trying to add like more of those herbs that I put downstairs and more flowers. They would not like attach, or they were floating really weird. It was really difficult to kind of just control them. So here is a fireplace that I was trying to put together, another one on the next floor. Couldn't exactly have it where I had the first one. Like, the staircase was just in the way. And then so I was just putting it behind the wall. I am gonna grab it and kind of push it through the wall. There was a makeshift one where I saw this person putting like wood from live object mode on the floor, and then they would use those Olympic lights from Get Famous and like shrink them and raise them up so that when you play the game, the lights go off and the fire is just running. But for some reason, I guess I was putting in the code wrong, and I couldn't get the firewood or the coal. So I just went ahead and used a regular fireplace, and I just kind of stuffed it behind a window, a low window, and then just pushed it through. So hopefully we can get it to turn on. And then there goes the tables that I was talking about. So where I put these cards in, again, I try to put the Chinese cards, the New Year's cards. So I'm just gonna replace them and put the record player there. And upstairs in the bedroom, I play around again with some things. Here I was trying to just figure out a way I could use these cabinets and just like make my own like little storage, little closet space. Um, just like I wanted a cool like dresser area. I initially wanted it to be around the bed, but there was not really a lot of space for that without the sim getting stuck on either side of the bed. So I went ahead and moved the bed out the way. Then I did this little trick here, and I was like, ooh, 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 I'll just make like a full-on closet. And I was going to come into our space to put this thing in, but I didn't want to interrupt the window that was there, and I didn't want to make the room any smaller. So we do go ahead and take away that wall, and then we are going to change the bed entirely because I realized we have enough space for a bigger bed. I definitely did need to push the bed through the wall, just so that hopefully the sim can walk by. But there ended up being like a lot of space up here, and not enough space for me to add like a desk, at least not in that little walkway, which is where I end up moving the wardrobe to. And as you can see, I added another little reading section over there, another little seated area. I did want to put in a desk, but I realized I was going to take up way too much space. And then I wanted to kind of have the chair in front of the mirror. Maybe she's practicing something. But then I decided that that wasn't working out for me, so I needed to rearrange the whole thing. And I was just really figuring out how to like make that little section that I created work, because I really like the way they look stacked up together, but I need to fill it up. And I always want to use these like dividing panels, but I never get the chance to use them properly because they take up so much space. And again, I couldn't just put it anywhere because it was stopping the sim from getting to the bed. So here we are, we go in, we start moving things around. I just realized, duh, the same thing I did downstairs, I can do it up here. If I'm going to be using that technique in this build, I might as well just do it throughout the house. And I do pull the wardrobe out just a little bit because I realized like it was super inside the wall. And even though I was pretending like it's a full-on closet inside the wall, like it was like I just needed to change it a little bit. Also, how frustrating is it that you can raise up a mirror but you can't lower them to the floor? So I end up having to choose, I forget which pack they come in. So those black mirrors there, and then I kind of add like a floral thing at the top so it could kind of hide the top, the fact that they peek out, because if you resize them they get weird, or at least they do on a Mac. I don't know if they behave the same way if you're playing on a Windows computer. So this is the final touch. I'm just trying to figure out a rug to suit the aesthetic of the house, and yeah, that is the end of the build. I hope you enjoyed this build. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and the screenshots are coming up soon. Until next time, bye!